Right. Of course, question number one is deals with the solving of x. So also is 2 marks. So we can apply the zero product again, saying x equals to 0, or this bracket can be 0 again, so that everything will be 0. So we can say x minus 3 will be 0. Then we have to make the x subject of the formula. Then here on the other side, you know that we change the sign to be positive 3. So that will be the solution for that part. Then another thing is that if here is not 0, then on the right hand side is not 0. It means the zero product will not apply again. We will not apply the zero product, because now we are saying if this x can be 0, and you say 0 multiplied by 0 minus 3, the answer will be 0 again. But if on the right hand side maybe it's x into x minus 3 maybe equals to 1. Can you see that? So now this 1, it means if you choose x to be 1, then you will not get the answer for 1. Because if you substitute x here by 1 into 1 into 1 minus 3, what will be the answer here? You will get negative 2. Can you see that the answer is not 1? So it means that we cannot say, we will not say x equals to 1 or x equals to x minus 3 equals to 0. This does not apply. So you apply only with 0 on the right hand side again. So now you must make sure that if you meet something like this, you expand. You make sure that you do the expansion, then you do the 3 terms, and then you factorize or use the quadratic formula again. Right, the next one is 1.1.2, where we set 2x squared. 2x squared plus 1 equals to 4x. Now the question say correct 2 decimal places. Normally when they say correct 2 decimal places, it's very clear that you're going to use quadratic formula again. And now the first thing, before you use quadratic formula, so to be in standard form again. So what are you 2x squared minus 4x equals to, then that's when you get the first tick for making the standard form again. Then now let's use our quadratic formula saying x equals to minus or negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now be careful guys. Ever got teacher formula sheet, and then we're not going to do instruction. If instruction I will look at formula sheet. We will show why creation as well formula sheet, and the instruction is quiet. And as well, we're running a formula sheet. So what na formula sheet. So you must make them aware that we put a formula sheet. Right, x equals to, now is the value of b. So it's negative into negative 4 plus minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 into, what is the value of a? 2c positive 1 all over 2 into 2. So now substituting correctly like this, you must get a tick there. Now from there, what we have, it means we'll have x equals to 4, because negative by negative is positive again, plus minus, what did you get inside the square root? You got 8, because that will be 16 minus 8, that will be 8 over 4. Now from there we'll say x equals to 4 plus square root of 8 over 4, or x equals to 4, now here minus the square root of 8 over 4. Now you press your calculator. What did you get for this one? What did you get? 1,71. Then this side to come by 0,29. They are all positive. So let's check quickly if we get the same thing. Here we'll say 4 plus the square root of 8 all over 4. Then now if you check, that is 1,71. Then that will be the first part. The next part is to change this positive here, and then you put negative, and then you get 0,29. Then those are the two values of x. So this one and this one. So that will be your 4 marks in that case. Right, next one is, so quadratic, in the form of quadratic formula, I want a problem again. First we have standard form. So 1.1.3. Now under 1.1.3 you say x squared minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. So once there is an inequality, then you know that you must go and get your critical values again. You can use the quadratic formula, you can factorize again. So, but how many marks here is 4 marks? So it means you must factorize or use quadratic formula. So I'll factorize here to have x 3 and then x and 1. So which one must be negative? So the 3 must be negative and this must be positive than 0. Then you must get your tick there for factorizing. If you should show quadratic formula, you must have a correct substitution again. So what is your correct substitution? You will have be having x equals to minus into negative 2 plus minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 into 1 and negative 3 here over 2 into 1. So we get a tick for that. Now for the critical values, of course we'll get x equals to 3 or x equals to negative 1. That is your critical values. If not here, of course you'll be using your table again. You'll be using your table or your number line, doing like this. And then what is the smallest number here between 3 and negative 1? Negative 1 from Gainian again, then comes to 3. So when I get, then now if you didn't write these critical values here, they will mark them on this table again. Now what do you do here? What kind of graph is this? So level fast. So it will be like this again. So now this will be the x-intercept of the graph again. And then now like this. It's fine. Then now if it's positive now, well after that draw the graph again. Now this side it will go for what? Why is what? Go for positive. So if it's positive, now remember, if this is x-axis, y positive guy above there. Agree if it's a Cartesian plane like this, that's why y comes what? Comes negative. Which change at here? Yes, neutral y one again. So on the what? On the x-axis, that's when the y will change. So now bring positive again. So a positive R1. If give my point here again, and then get positive guy only above. So I give my point here. Graph at the center here, the graph does not exist for positive. So it exists for negative because we'll be going down. We'll pick the value x. But when I'm here, going up, because up is where my positive is, then I'm touching the graph and I'm going You see the direction I'm moving? I'm moving in that direction. Can you see that? So meaning that here I'll have x is what will be less than -1. Then it means the other part will get it where? This side. When I'm moving in that direction. Right? So meaning that this x critical value here must be greater than 3. Then because now these are not joined, then I must have what? Or. Then now this is your mark, this is your mark, then you get your 4 marks. Is there any question? So you not like right? That's how you get your critical values. Then now we have 1.1.4. Under 1.1.4, we have the exponents saying 2 to the power 2x minus 2 to the power x plus 2 minus 32 is equals to 0. Now let's let's make sure that each base in a lay one exponent again. So this is 2 to the power 2x in a, that is one exponent minus 2, then we must break this to have 2x. We will one exponent multiplied by 2 to the power 2 minus 32 equals to 0. When I get now, I want to read each one in a leg an exponent. But now here, how many terms are there? 3. So normally if there are 3 terms, what we can do here, we must take out maybe factorization, unless to check out let this part. We must also check this part. You see the value here. This is 2 and this is 1. So 2x and 1x, so it means the other one get double. So if they are double, then it means there is a square here that you need to factorize again. So meaning this part, we can write it, we know that it will be 2 to the power x multiplied by 2. So if that is the case, it can be written like this. So if it's like that, then I can take 2 to the power x to be what? K. So now I can say here I have to say let k be 2 to the power x. So that mono k go be 2 to the power x. So what do I have? It means in that case I'll have k squared minus multiplied by 4 minus 32 equals to 0. Then now what we have, seems like now we can write this in terms of 4k. So now if that is the case, we need to use quadratic formula or factorize again. Now we can, if you factorize, when I used quadratic again, so you can check the values, the factors of 32 is 32 and 1, or the center one, 4 again. And there is, if you divide by 2, there is 16 and 2, 4 again. From there, if you divide by 4, what do you get? 18. So 8 and 4 can take me to 4 again. So now it means if you factorize this will be k, the other one must be 8, the k and 4 equals to 0. Now the center one is negative, it means here negative and this will be positive. So that when you add you get that one. So now we apply the 0 products where we have k equals to 8 or k equals to -4. So normally a negative doesn't have a solution. Again, this one doesn't have a solution. Now let's get this side. It means now we'll be saying k is 2 to the power x equals to 8. So now 2 to the power x equals to, now we write this 8 in terms of base 2 again. So we have 2 to the power 3. So now if say we have same basis, it means it being equal, then their exponents are also equal. Then x equals to 3. Then that will be the solution for that. So it was how many marks? 5. So for having this standard form, factorizing, say no solution is here, and then this the power 3 and x is 3. Then that's where you get your marks in that case. Eh? The, the other way you can factorize this in terms of the exponents. Eh? 2 to the power 5. From which step? This one. Okay, let's see. You said 2 to the power. Let's change color. You said 2 to the power 2x negative 2 to the power x multiplied by what? Multiply by multiply by 2 to the power 2 minus 2 to the power equals to 0. Okay, from there what happened? No, you drop the exponent. Eh? Asalari yasel. Yeah, listen to something here. If we have 2 to the power x again, maybe minus 2 to the power 2 again, and then from there we have what? Let's say equals to, or let's say 2 to the power x again plus 1 again equals to maybe what? Let's say 2 to the power what? 2 to the power 3 again. Now having this situation, we cannot drop the exponents because of this sign. So we only drop the exponents if there's only multiplication. So if I have 2 to the power x equals to 2 to the power 2, now because these ones they are equal bases, then that's when I can drop the exponents again. Only in this case. So if this one there is plus or minus, it's either you take out the common factor so that we have the left hand side one term, right hand side one term, therefore they can cancel again. Otherwise, if even here if it's plus, we cannot drop the exponents. I'm saying if that is the case, you must take out common factor. Do you know what is common factor? So if there is a separation of terms by plus or minus, we are taking out the common factor again. So if you want to solve this part here, do you see this one? What do? You say common factor again, move 2 to the power x into 1 minus 2 to the power 1 equals to 2 to the power 3. That is the only way you can do it. Then now, in that case, you know this is a constant. You know you have to multiply this part here. Yeah? So that will be 2 minus 1 is 1. If that will be negative 1, and that in that case, if it becomes negative, then we will fail to get our answer. So hence, maybe if that is the case, here is supposed to be what? You must have a positive here. So that now when we get positive, it will be 3 again. Then you divide it there. That's the only way you can solve x. So that is the exponent part. It's either there are three. It's either if there is a separation between the terms, we're going to factorize. Then if this one we are failing to factorize here, we cannot take out common factor again. Why? Because this one is the double of the other one. So meaning that we cannot say 2 to the power x into 2 to the power 2. You won't go back to that, because if you will 2 to the power x plus 2, namila isale times 2. So we cannot take out the common factor there. So multiply so we're only left with what? Factorization. Then you do 3 times, then factorize. Right, let's go to 1.5 if there are no further questions. Uh, 1.1.5, this is square root of negative 2x plus 4 minus x equals to 2. So this is what we call squaring both sides because of the signs, I get. Now what is the first step? We do so we do an isolation. That is root table, square root to one side, I get. So we can see that this one of negative 2x plus 4 equals to, now we say positive x plus 2 again. Now when I square root is deleted, then this one is deleted. Now we call this an isolation. And then in this case, they might not give you a mark, but in your grade, they'll give you a mark for that again. Then now we must square both sides. When we square both sides, we must start afresh and write our equation. Negative 2x plus 4 squared equals to, when I get isolation here, so that it be clear. Now I'll say x plus 2 all squared. Then now, if you square it, I know this squared and square root, they will take it away. I have minus or negative 2x plus 4 equals to, now I have to expand this side again. Then now, how do you expand this one? When you say x multiplied by x, or you can use your normal way of doing this. I get x plus 2, so that you don't make a mistake. Then you get 1 mark for doing the isolation there again. Squaring both sides, you remove the thing. So now we have negative 2x plus 4 equals to, now what do you get? That will be x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4. Now what did you do here? Now you can take everything to, or let's simplify it first. 2x plus 4 equals to x squared. What do you get here? Plus 4x plus 4 again. Now we take everything to the right hand side. We have 0 equals to x squared. Then now 2x I come over positive here plus 6x. Then 4 I to subtract, then done again. So you did your standard 4. Then you must get a tick, but this one was 4 marks. So it means you'll get the mark for using quadratic formula here again. So now just factorize to have x plus 6. Then you get a tick for that. Now what are the two values? We apply the zero product. X equals to, or x equals to negative 6. Now you go back to check on your solution whether they are both correct or what. Now if you go there, picking the left hand side, you can see that we'll have what? The square root of negative 2 into x. Let's take the one of 0 plus 4. What do you get? Minus negative 0. My x is 0 again. So what do you get? That is true again. This is true. Then now let's take the right hand side. We are taking it from here again. Well, now you can take it on the first step, still fine. Then the right hand side, what do we have? The right hand side for x equals to 0, we have 0 plus 2 again. What do you get? 2. So left hand side equals to right hand side. This one is correct again. Is accepted. Now let's go to the left hand side. If x equals to negative 6 again. Now we say square root of negative 2, negative 6 plus 4. What do you get? Negative by negative, positive 12 plus 4. What do you get? I'm saying I'm using this level here. So what do you get? 12 plus 4. 12 plus 4 is 16. So the answer is 4. Now let's get the right hand side. It means on the right hand side, we'll say what? Negative 6 plus 2 equals to negative 4. So the left hand side is not equal to right hand side. So this one is not a solution, and you get a mark with selection there. So that should be your marks, and then I think it will be 2 marks with your selection. So if you didn't reject one, I reject check. So it's either you can use the original form, or you can use the second step when you isolate it again. Yes. And say you can use this equation or you can use this one. Yes, I'm saying I'm using, can you see this isolation, this step? I'm using this step. The one again. I'm using this step. That's why I'm not including this negative x. So I'm saying you can go ahead and use your first equation, original equation again. Yes. On the original equation, of course, the left hand side. The left hand side will be having square root of negative 2 into 0 plus 4 minus 0. That is your original equation. If you are using that again, then you go back to the right hand side is only the constant. So it's 2. So the answer here will give us 2. So 2 equals to 2. Then it's accepted. Then if you do the one with negative 6, of course, we'll add, we'll say minus 6 here. Then we get the answer. Is there any question? Alright, let's get to the 1.2 of the simultaneous equation, where they said 2x plus y equals to 3. Then the second equation, let's make it one first equation. Y squared plus xy equals to 2. Let's make it the second equation. So obviously, the target is the simplest equation. I'll forget the squares again. So simply from equation 1, you will work out to have y equals to, you can say 3 minus 2x. That will be equation 3. And there is a mark for the target for making that subject of the formula. Now from there, you can substitute your equation 3 into equation, because we didn't use equation 2, then it means this one we used it, then we substitute this into the equation that we did not use again. So now let's see. Now when you're substituting from this equation, we solved for y. So there is y there, and then there's a square. You must put the bracket. So 3 minus 2x squared, because there's a square, plus x. Now I'm substituting for y. So that would be 3 minus 2x equals to, there is a mark for that substituting correctly there. So you must make sure that you substitute correctly in that case. So from there, that's where people start to lose marks. So you must be careful when you're working here. So we have 3 minus 2x, 3 minus 2x plus, now can we make out this one? We can have 3x and what? Minus 2x squared equals to 2. Now let's go and work out these brackets. So now we have what? 9 minus 6x minus 6x plus 4 plus 3x minus 2x squared equals to 2. Now look at this. Can we work out the like terms here? So 9 is a constant, we have 9. I get negative 6 minus 6 plus 3x. What do you get? Negative or minus 9x. Then 30x squared, you get what? Plus 2x squared equals to 2. Again, now let's go to the standard form. So when you're working out the standard form, we'll have 2x squared, then minus 9x. I mean the 2 to the again. You have a negative positive 7 equals to, then you get a tick for that standard form. Right now, what do you get? Let's see, 7 and 2, they must give us 9. So now I can use quadratic formula again. So, but I can see that 2x and then x, then we must have 7 will come here and 1. So now this will be negative negative equals to 0. Now having that, it means we must have x equals to 7 over 2 or x equals to 1 in that case. So we have both values of x again. Now we're going to take these two values of x and substitute there. Now when you say for x equals to 7 over 2, what do you get? You say y equals to 3 minus 2 into, hey, what's wrong? So now y equals to, this will cancel, and then we have 3 minus 7, and we get minus 4 again. Then for x equals to 1, then we say y, you can say or here. Y equals to 3 minus 2 into 1. So y equals to, then we have 1. So that is two values of y. They must both be correct. If not correct, then we're going to have a subtraction of marks there. So that is question 1. Then 1.3 is a non-routine question. So you will just see it on a special case. So this is what we have for